Did I just film a different video on the same post? Yes. Yes, I did. Am I just filming another video straight up? Yes. Yes, I am. Kia ora, hello, my name is Sarita. I'm a writer from New Zealand, currently living in Canada. And today I am finally doing the mid-year goals update / it's the mid-year goals freakout tag, which I believe was started by Curious Cat on YouTube, and I was tagged by Tanya and Zinnia, which I'll put their channels down below for you to go check out. I'm finally doing it, guys. I'm finally doing it. So my first answer, I had to go back and watch my goals video because this goal right here is a goldfish. So first question, did you set any writing goals at the beginning of the year? What were they? Are you on track? Yes, I did have a goal. It was to end the draft of Daughter of Ruin, which is my current work in progress, a multi-mythology elemental fantasy. What? A YA fantasy with elemental magic inspired by multi-mythology. The goal was to finish that at the end of June, and I haven't done that. So, and then I was supposed to review that draft and feedback over the summer, and I still haven't obviously done that because I haven't finished the draft. On top of that, I had another goal to still be ready to query by the end of the year, but I feel like I am still on track for that if I accomplish what is coming up in my next video, which will be out very soon. What are you currently working on, and how much writing have you done? Can't speak. What are you currently working on, and how much writing have you done so far this year? I mentioned my current work in progress is titled, working title, Daughter of Ruin. It is a YA fantasy standalone. Last time I told you guys it was a trilogy. Since then, I would like it to be a duology with, well, okay, standalone with duology potential. And I know, I said trilogy last time. I may eventually explain why I've changed my mind, but that's kind of like sometime in the future if I finish the dang book, okay? There's a reason, but I don't want to get into it yet. But I had like a big idea about like the third book, which would have been the trilogy book, but like it doesn't need to be the trilogy book because originally, okay, I am talking about it right now. Originally, my original idea for this story had been a duology about two sisters, okay? And then as I wrote this book, there was a third person who came in as a side character who is just really pivotal, and I really want to tell their story, and so I kind of like added them on as a trilogy, but now I'm like, oh no, they could be like a separate standalone later in the future over here. You get me? And I'm kind of thinking could be an adult romantasy. Okay. Guess I told you already. Okay. Alright, anyway, back to the question. I currently am at just under 40k words out of approximately 110, which is an estimate, which is just based on like how many chapters I've outlined and approximate like words I tend to draft per chapter, but that like really fluctuates, and I tend to like, I've noticed like the more I write, I'm like writing more and more, so I don't know. Originally started as an underwriter and now I'm progressively becoming an overwriter, so I don't know how I feel about that. Not really loving it, to be honest. Not loving it. Okay, third question. Have you reached any milestones so far this year? Yep, let me just list them out for you. I finished Act 1 and I was super happy with that. Then I got stuck. So I re-outlined from chapter 8 to the end. I was super happy with that because I filled in a lot of like murky, like fake filler areas of the plot, which I had just kind of like estimated, like guessed what I would put in there. And then I also created a blurb for my work in progress, which helped me realize that the age category I was trying to force it into wasn't correct, and I changed it to a YA. And since changing it to a YA, the story is literally just like, it's just like a freaking waterfall unleashing out of my head. Okay, next question. What does your writing routine look like right now? If you have one, has it changed since the beginning of the year? Are you happy with it? If not, how would you want it to look like? Well, I don't really have a writing routine. I am just a kind of fly by the seat of my pants type of gal. I work full time. I have 3 kids. Right now it's the summertime and they're back in New Zealand visiting family, so I have a lot more free time outside of work. But in saying that, I don't know, when the kids were here during school time, the only times I was writing was after they would go to bed. So like after 8 p.m. I would just write when I could, and then usually on the weekends when they would have like downtime if they didn't have sports and stuff. So it's just like in little pockets, but that's about it. I'm trying to think of what else at the moment. I don't know, that worked pretty well, like writing in the evenings. To be honest, like I was pretty happy with that evening one, but at the same, because I had like a pretty regular group, like there were regular people who would do writing sprints on Discord, or there's like a regular group I like to jump in on Evelyn's productivity sprints on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or on like the Blacklisted channel with Tia and Ash and Dami and DWs on their fortnightly one on Thursdays. They're like writing sprints, and before StreamYard did its thing, everyone was doing writing sprints like live stream writing sprints pretty regularly, so that was quite handy. But yeah, so I am also looking at trying to do more myself, I personally find it better to write with people, I think. So I'm still trying to work that out. Long-winded answer, sorry about it. Next question. Have you encountered any good resources about writing? Full disclosure, I don't read up much on writing craft at the moment. I did while I was outlining last year. John Truby's Anatomy of a Storybook is really good. I also actually still use Dan Harmon, I think, his story structure for plot as well. So in my undergraduate, in my bachelor's degree, I took a lot of creative writing classes, and so I learned a lot on story structure and characterization back in my early 20s. Specifically, I found my script writing class the most interesting one because it kind of like pared back everything, which isn't something that I thought I would enjoy because I've always liked like prose and description. Because it like stripped back everything, it almost made it formulaic in the way that to help you understand what a good story is. So the way that you could understand a good character arc and what like a positive or negative character arc is going to look like, and the way that a good story is going to look like. The downside of that is that movies and TV shows and even books are just like predictable. And then of course, now that I know that I am like neurodivergent, and now I know that I have like pattern recognition for both like ADHD and autism, my pattern recognition specifically is like insane for movies and shows and books. And so when I come across any movie, TV show or book that I suppose that surprises me, it's almost like my brain is triggered to think, oh, that was unexpected. It's almost like my brain just notes it down as like, oh, that's an interesting twist. And it's like I log it away for something, for like a future reference. But yeah, that was a tangent that wasn't really relevant. Sorry about it. In terms of writing craft resources, let me get back to the actual question. I have some books on my shelf that I bought for reference, and I'll probably get to it when I get at the editing stages later. But I'm pretty sure Lindsay have mentioned some good examples of craft books. Also, Paul did a good part 1 video on story structure. Sierra does like writing craft videos all the damn time. So like go watch her shit. Also, I feel like there was something else, but I cannot remember off the top of my head right now. Okay, next question. If you write with a playlist, what are your current go-to songs to get into the writing mode? Okay, I can't write with music that has lyrics because I don't know what the term is, but it like distracts me and then I start singing. There is literally one song that I've noticed that I can play, and then I will just like instantly just like write. The song is Experience by Ludovico Einaudi. all of his songs. I have like a radio playlist on my Spotify. I will just like play it usually, but this is like my favorite song. And when I'm really struggling to get into any writing, I will just put this on repeat until I start writing, and it just cycles through. And it's almost like it's like my there's like these like ADHD hyper focus playlists. The song is like my hyper focus song. It's my like go-to. I have like an ambience writing playlist on my channel of just like different videos that I've found on YouTube with different like types of music. Like some is like dark violin, and some is like has like experience on it with other similar songs, and then others is like full like epic cinematic songs. When I was picking my favorite scenes to write, I would listen to like the really like epic videos or like music, and that would help me kind of get into the motion and just like get the words out. Anything that has like a build up in the music and it's like orchestral or like instrumental basically just really gets me in the zone, and like no, like I'm just like has no distractions. Toughest moment related to your writing so far this year? It would be a toss-up between before I had like become friends with everyone on AuthorTube, and where I was like trying to go alone and like really struggling with like figuring out what to do. Actually, yeah, I would probably say that was the toughest, like earlier in the year, like January, February times. I think like I don't really recall it because I was kind of like not really, I'd have to check, but there was a time earlier in the year where we were busy, like we got married and stuff, so we were busy and I wasn't really on YouTube much. But I do remember that like I wasn't really writing. I wanted to, but I was like procrastinating, and I think it was just like I didn't really know what to do, I suppose. And I think it's crazy, it's funny, I don't know what the right word is. It's not crazy and it's not funny, but it's like looking back, and I can't even comprehend the person I was then without the friends I have now, if that makes sense. Because I talk to so many of you all the time and I couldn't imagine, oh my god, can I get through a video without getting like sappy? What the fuck? But like I talk to you guys so often, and I guess I'm just like so grateful. Because I think for me, like I see like a lot of authors who have like published or they are publishing, and they talk about how isolating it is to write a book and get published. And I'm not even published and I was struggling, and I haven't even finished a book, and I'm like struggling without people. So yeah, I guess that for me was like, I guess that's tough, like not having anyone. And now that I have, like it would be tough to go back to that, I suppose. Which leads me into the next question, which is best memory related to your writing so far this year. And honestly, aside from having like found so many friends, being able to prove to myself that I can, every time I get further and further, is like every time I hit another 1,000 words is like another sign to myself that I can actually get further and further in my draft, and make it that much further. So like, yeah, I guess that's what I'm most proud of. It's not really the question, but that's kind of what comes to mind with that. Okay, something important that you've learned or advice for your future self. I can give advice to other people. I'm shit at giving advice to myself. I'm good at learning things, so let's go with a lesson. Something important that I've learned is that in terms of my writing process, I am a lot more fluid and can be a lot more fluid with it than I originally thought, and that is okay. It doesn't have to be, I'm not even going to say it doesn't have to be perfect, because that's not something that I struggle with anymore. It's more that I know in myself that I just need to, future Sarita, just sit down, put that experience song on, and sit there and write for 5 minutes and see where you get to. And if you still want to get up and go do something else, then that's fine. But if you get locked in after 5 minutes of having that song on repeat, then you're welcome. I guess that turned into advice for my future self, but whatever. Next question. What would you like to accomplish with your writing during the second half of the year? Well, this ties back to my goal. I would like to finish my first draft, and then I would like to edit it and finish my second draft. And then as I edit the second draft, I kind of would like to get, I don't know if they're alpha readers or beta readers, I don't know what they're called. Basically, I would like to get reader feedback. Probably I need to see what like the norm is here, but I don't know if people usually do like reader feedback on an entire book or like on sections of a book. And then ideally I just would like to have a final draft ready from reader feedback, ready to query by the end of the year. Like that is my goal, so that I can start querying from the start of next year. That's my goal. Okay, now I can tag other writers. Right. I have a couple. I'm gonna tag Rawi. I hope I'm saying that right. And Naomi writes. You guys can choose to do this or not. I know you guys do vlogs, so if you don't want to do this, that's okay. And then the next two people I'm tagging, I don't know. You guys haven't posted videos in a while, so if you don't want to do this, that's okay as well. But I'm tagging you anyway. Evelyn and Saoirse. And then I don't know if you've done this. Araya, have you done this video yet? If not, you're tagged as well. Okay, coolies. Also, I'm just doing this because I'm nosy about what people's goals are. I just like knowing what people are up to with their with their projects. Okay. No pressure to do this tag if you don't want to. Also, if I have not tagged you, you want to do this, please do the video and then let me know as well, because like I said, I love seeing people's goals. It's just a thing that I like enjoy. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, put your favorite animal down below. Okay. Oh, and let me know like what's one of your goals you're working on. It doesn't have to be writing. Like, what is a goal that you are working on right now or this year, if you want to share? It can be anything at all. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.